Hello everybody, Claudia Boleyn here, and this is a little video to tell you to please, for the love of the goddess, watch In the Flesh. In the Flesh is a BBC Three TV show which has had 2 series so far, and I got into it because people on Tumblr were telling me, Claudia, you'll love it. But people tell me that about a lot of shows, and to be honest, a lot of the shows people recommend I don't actually like that much. But I am telling you now, In the Flesh has changed my life. For starters, I've started to dress like Kieran Walker. Look, I've got the hoodie and the cute little woolly jumper and some kind of semi-colourful jeans and boots and everything. I am wearing like the makeup of a PDS sufferer today, which would be in bad taste if the PDS sufferers were real, but obviously they're not, so I'm getting away with that. But if that was a real life marginalised or oppressed group, obviously I wouldn't do my makeup like them. That wouldn't be very right at all. I'll show you my makeup. The lighting here is really bad, but I'll try. So, here is the makeup today, and it actually doesn't look that different from usual, weirdly, in this lighting, but it did earlier. The first thing my mum said when she saw me this morning was, Claudia, what's wrong with your face? You look like you've got a rash. Thanks mum. For all you knew, that was my casual look. That was my going out look. But no, I kind of had like, I've got purple on my eyes, and I tried to create the illusion of Luke Newberry-esque cheekbones, which doesn't work on me. I have no cheekbones, and I've got actually a really big face. So yeah, I've got kind of a big, kind of brownish face. So not all pale and ghostly like Luke Newberry's Kieran. But yeah, I wore dark lipstick and everything and just tried to look slightly PDS. But anyway, I'm obsessed with the show. What you need to know about this show is that it is pretty much, on like all but one count, I think this show is perfect for you if you're like a social justice warrior person, sort of like me, who kind of thinks the same kind of stuff I do. If you're that sort of person, the sort of person who watches my channel, then I think you will love In the Flesh. The only issue with In the Flesh that I can think of is that the race representation isn't that great, and that one of the big villains of the series is a person of colour, which, you know, because there are so few people of colour, that can kind of be problematic, I guess. But aside from that, honestly, like, the representation in other senses is great. The whole thing is like an analogy for oppression. The main character, Kieran Walker, is canonically bisexual or pansexual. Obviously no one says the B word, so it's not actually mentioned in the show, but to be fair, no one's sexuality is mentioned in the show. But the writers said that he doesn't care about gender, so that's great, I can relate to that. It'd be really nice if they could, you know, go in with the B word, it'd be great, or even the P word, but they never do. But still, that's great, because he's canonically bisexual, basically. Then you've got other characters like Simon Monroe, who is canonically homosexual, Rick Macy, who is canonically homosexual. If I've just cut a bit of this video out, it's because I've given away some major spoilers, because I'm a fool. But yeah, what you need to know is that there's quite a few LGBT characters, but the important thing is, like, Kieran he's queer, but it's not a big deal, but at the same time it's not mentioned. It is part of who he is, but it's not like, this character is queer and he's a stereotype. He's not, he is the most wonderful. Oh, I can't even tell you how much I love Kieran Walker. Him and the Lady Morgana are my top 2 favourite characters of all time. And you know how much I love the Lady Morgana, but Kieran is just like, he's sunshine and joy, which is odd because he's like a depressed artist, and he's really skinny, and he's kind of pretty, and he's quiet, and he doesn't want to upset people, he doesn't want to rock the boat, he's kind of softly spoken, he's just absolutely adorable, and I love him, I really do. You know, and you just feel a connection to a character. But it's not because I'm anything like him, I think it's because he's what I want to be. Apart from, I think he needs to get his act together a bit and get a little bit more passionate about stuff. But then I know he's going to. Again, I can't tell you anymore. What else can I tell you about the show? I can tell you that there are some great ladies in the show. You will love the ladies in the show. I really like a character called Amy Dyer, and especially Kieran's little sister, Jen, is one to watch out for. Basically, I just don't want it to end. Like, people are doing the Save In the Flesh thing, because I think the BBC Three channel is shutting down. I don't know what's going on. I think it's shutting down, and therefore they don't know what to do with In the Flesh. But In the Flesh has won a BAFTA. Sorry, that was my stomach, by the way. I haven't eaten all day. I think In the Flesh has won a BAFTA, and so it gets really good views and good reviews, and it's had quite a high viewership level. So there's no reason why they shouldn't bring it back. And I just want to say it's so important to me, because I feel like such a connection to Kieran, and it's so rare for me, as someone who's mentally ill and queer, to see someone who's also mentally ill and queer, and to not have that be, you know, like some great big thing about them. It's kind of difficult to explain, but it just, watching the show just means so much to me. And I have never, ever in my life felt that with the show before. I feel like In the Flesh has got me. I feel connected to it, and I just love it, as you can tell by me making this video. So I'm just saying, I beg you to watch this show, especially if you're queer. Watch this damn show, it's amazing. It's quite heavy on the violence because it's like a zombie show. The basic premise of the show is like imagining a zombie uprising, but from the perspective of the zombies, if they were treated and they kind of went back to kind of a human state and their personalities were back and they weren't still eating people, that kind of thing, and what it would be like for them fitting back into society. So it deals with all these themes about oppression and war and privilege and fetishization, all that kind of stuff. And it's just so relevant to everything. I just love the show, so please, I beg you to watch it. Like I said, the downside is race representation. So if you're looking for great race representation, then that is the only thing that I think it just doesn't hit the mark there. But I'm hoping they'll improve on that in series 3. I mean, if they did, then I tell you, the show would be perfect. If they could just get that right, then it would be just amazing. But I actually think it's my favourite show of all time ever. I'm completely hooked. Last night I drew Kieran, and I'm just obsessed with the show. As you can tell, I'm dressed as Kieran. I've been talking about it for about 7-10 minutes, I don't know. There's no timer on my camera, I don't know, I could have been talking for hours, who knows. But anyway, please watch the show. Please save In the Flesh too. Like, save the show. If you can sign a petition, if I find the petition, I'll put it in the bottom of this video. And even if you don't watch the show but you love me, then for me, please sign the petition, because I need this show back. It means so much to me, and I want to cry even thinking about it, because it's so important to me. I do get very emotional about TV shows, but at the same time I'm also on my period, so maybe that's something to do with the enhanced emotional state I'm in. Anyway, yeah, I'd want to show you my picture of Kieran, so I'll just get that for you. Look, I drew Kieran last night. I had to stay up late last night because my brother was at a party and my mum needed to take him home, and she kind of was falling asleep, so I didn't want her to leave him wandering the area at like 1 o'clock in the morning, so I stayed awake with her. So I drew Kieran. It's not my best piece of art, by the way. I know it's a bit out of proportion, but it was really late last night, so I haven't drawn properly for a while, so here's Kieran, as drawn by me. Anyway, I did that because I'm hoping that'll be the picture on the front of this video, by the way. I wasn't just doing that for no reason. But yeah, please watch the show. You'll love Kieran, I'm telling you now. You will love Kieran Walker, and you might well love Simon Monroe, and I know you'll love Amy Dyer, and you might love Jem Walker, and there's so many people to love. And I'm going to stop now, but please watch it. Like, for the love of the goddess, watch this show. Your life will not be complete until you have seen it. You have to see it. You have to see it. It's so important. Honestly, it's changed my life. It's changed everything. Okay, I'm gonna go now. Watch In the Flesh. It's perfect. Apart from a couple of things. But still, it could be perfect if it gets a 3rd series and it kind of fixes those little tiny problems, because it's so good. I'm gonna go now. I'll see you later. Goodbye.